Hi everyone, this is my review of The Silent Patient, which I recently read and really ended up enjoying. I read it with two friends, Amy and Steffi. I will leave their links below if you want to go and check them out. The initial review won't contain any spoilers, but I'm going to be going into spoiler territory later on in the video because I have some things that I want to talk about. I will let you know once I get into the spoilers. In case you don't know the plot of this one, let me just quickly recap it for you. The main character is a guy, his name is Theo, and he is a psychotherapist. He is really intrigued by this woman who is a patient, and she is being convicted for murdering her husband. She shot him several times in the face. But no one knows why, because when the police came and found her, she refused to speak. She then later refused to speak for 6 whole years. So Theo decides to go to the hospital where she is, and he wants to basically get the story out of her. He is convinced that he's going to be the one to make her talk and to finally know why she shot her husband. There's not really much to the plot, so that's about it. The Silent Patient is quite short. It's only just over 300 pages, and that did mean that it was very, very fast paced, but it also meant that it wasn't the most intricate plot. And because it's a thriller, I was okay with that. I didn't need anything mind-blowing or super special. I have to say that the plot was very intriguing, and Alyssia's silence made almost the entire book feel very mysterious and dark, and I found it very, very interesting to read. One thing I would like to mention in regards to the plot is that it jumps back and forth between Theo working at the hospital and Theo at home, and at times Theo's home life felt very out of place because I couldn't really understand what the author was going for, because I just wanted to know more about Alyssia. But eventually I did warm up to that, so it wasn't a problem. I was a little bit concerned in the beginning that this book was going to turn into like a male saviour plot where the guy is trying to fix the broken woman thing, but thankfully it didn't. The author managed to avoid that, and I'm very, very pleased that he did, because I was really quite concerned in the beginning and I almost didn't want to carry on reading because I would have absolutely hated that trope. Another thing I was concerned about, and you might be as well, is whether or not there would be an inappropriate romance between the doctor and his patient, but thankfully there wasn't. I'm very pleased to say. Please don't go into this worrying about that, because I worried. There was absolutely no need to. I think my favourite part about this book was Alyssia. I just loved getting to know her through the flashbacks in her diary. She was such an interesting character and she had been through a lot, and I feel like we didn't really get to know her as well as we could have, but that makes her even more intriguing and mysterious, I think. And the whole point is that she is silent and she can't tell you anything, so all you know about her is what she wrote in her diary 6 years ago. It was kind of disturbing, but I did really, really like her character, and I felt very connected to her in a kind of disconnected sort of way. That didn't make any sense. Maybe it will if you read the book. Overall, this is a really strong debut and I'm really quite impressed by it. I went into it quite hesitant, although excited, but I'm really pleased to say that I really enjoyed it, and I'll definitely be reading the author's next book if and when he releases it. So that is it for the non-spoilery section. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far. I won't be offended if you stop the video now. If you don't want to know anything more about this book, then that's fair enough. Now is probably the time to stop. So spoilers, I'm just going to talk about a couple of things because I don't really have a lot to say. First of all, I love the way that the author weaved everything together. The non-linear timeline was done so well. If you have read the book, then do let me know if you started to catch on, but don't spoil anything in the comments. Just, you know, be vague. But I very slowly started to catch on to the fact that Theo's home life was actually a flashback, and that it would connect to Alyssia's diary entries, because later on in the book I felt like things started to not add up. Theo would leave the hospital feeling one way, and then he'd get home in the next chapter and then he'd feel completely differently, and it didn't really feel connected, and it felt like he was going through a sort of very, very subtle personality switch. And I wasn't sure if that was because he didn't enjoy his home life and he like threw everything into work, or if something more was going on, and obviously something more was going on. I'm just really impressed with the way that the author handled it, and very, very slowly started to feed us little bits of information, or even just like vibes. I think the vibe was just really, really good. I think that's what it was. And then in terms of my theories, I think I suspected Paul, the cousin, a lot. I think he was acting really, really shady, and I guess that's because of the gambling addiction, but I don't really understand why he was acting the way that he was if he, you know, didn't have anything to do with it. And I was really surprised that the gambling thing didn't come up again. I thought that was going to be addressed later on, and I'm not really sure why it wasn't, because I was kind of left hanging there. I felt like, not that I really care that much about the gambling in the grand scheme of the book. It's just now that I'm thinking about it now, I'm kind of wondering what the whole point of that was. Maybe to add Paul into the pool of suspects. I made myself laugh, I'm sorry. But then at the same time, he wasn't really a red herring because it wasn't developed enough, in my opinion. And then finally, I am also just really upset that Alyssia is now in a coma, because she was such a good character and she was really freaking interesting. In the end, she got Theo arrested, and I thought that was just brilliant. She got him arrested while she was in a coma, and it was great. I feel awful because she's had no like resolution. She was pushed to do those things, and that is by no means like making it okay or excusing her. She didn't get to see Theo get arrested, the guy who made her think that she was crazy and played with her mental health. Yeah, there's that. I'm really quite sad for her, I guess, even though the book was only 300 pages and I didn't really have that much time to get to know her. But yeah, I'm sad for Alyssia, and I think a lot of readers will feel that way if they felt at all connected to her. So that's it, that's my review. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave your opinions in the comments below, but please don't spoil anything. I will be back soon with another video. Bye!